Good morning, it's Friday the 6th of August and today is the day that we drive back to Chingford after 4 nights in Monmouth. I'm not driving too far before I stop for a 10-kilometre walk. This is Valerie's at Monmouth, a really lovely tea shop where I had my savoury scone for breakfast. We're now at the Forest of Dean, Gloucestershire, Simon's Yacht Rock, to do our 10-kilometre walk. I had to eat breakfast back in Monmouth because the car was stuck behind 2 vans and the man said it would take half an hour of his car being there. So I had a lovely savoury scone. It was sun-dried tomato and olives with fried egg and bacon, as the photograph will show. The bad news is that means I'm going to need the toilet sooner rather than later while I'm walking, but there are plenty of trees around. And the other excitement that I had back in Monmouth, it was that when I returned to the car, although the vans had gone, there was still another car behind me and it was a really slim gap for me to get through. But thankfully, 2 men came out and they helped me. One was at the front, one was at the side, and it was hair-raising. It really was a really narrow gap to get through, but they got me through it. I didn't talk to the phone because there were too many people around, but that was just, I'm saying it again, beautiful, amazingly beautiful, tranquil scenery, and just think it's been like that for hundreds, thousands of years. Wow. The app's been telling me that I'm off route, but the paths are well marked and there are plenty of people around, so I don't think I'm going to find myself in the depths of the Forest of Dean when the sun has gone down, so I'll be fine. And down below by the river, I've noticed there might be somewhere selling ice cream, and I still haven't had any ice cream whilst I've been away, so perhaps I'll get myself some ice cream en route. last 18 months, I've watched quite a number of series on Netflix, and the two romantic ones that have most struck me have been, one's called Where the Heart Is, I think, and it's about a teacher in the probably 19th century in America, and she's from a wealthy family, and she goes out to the sticks. It's a mining town, and they're really poor, and she meets a Canadian Mountie, and they fall in love and they get married, and he dies when she's pregnant. And anyway, that's a nice one. And you know, the idea of someone coming from the city, especially a teacher, and moving to the sticks and finding romance, that appeals to me. But it did become very cheesy, and the thing that irritated me about it was, from being a mining town and people were a bit grubby and a bit real, it then developed to being a woodcutting town, a carpentry town, timber town, and all the ladies, they were no longer grubby, but they were just perfectly made up, and it lost any sense of realism for me. But the one that I've most enjoyed is called Virgin River, and it's set in California, but it's filmed in Canada, and it's the most beautiful scenery. So where I've been seeing the rivers around here, it's reminded me of Virgin River. And this is another story of a woman that moves from the city to work in the sticks, and she's a midwife. So whenever I refer to Netflix series, that's the kind of thing that I'm referring to. The woman from the city who goes to the sticks and finds romance. I've been walking for an hour and 15 minutes, and I've done 3.4 kilometres. We've now taken a path which comes away from the river, and as much as the app was telling me I was off route, I actually wasn't. I was en route. So now I'm still en route. It's just that I don't think I'll find as many people on this path because it's not riverside, it's moving away from the river. I think students expect their English teacher to sit on his or her backside and read books. But most of the teachers in my department, the English department, they like to get out, they like to adventure, and they like to discover. And of course, reading about the world and understanding the world is really important. But sensing the world and, you know, everything that's around you, experiencing the world and sensing, that's what enables you to write. You can only write about, well, you write best about what you can experience. And so it's really important to be able to do something like this. Why am I recording? It's not a conscious thing, but I think if I record, it's the idea of sharing, it's the idea of feeling that I'm not completely on my own. Because as much as I'm talking to a phone, I'm talking to somebody. And I think it's probably for that reason that I put it all together. I just read a sign and it said life begins at 40, and it said oak trees, they don't produce acorns until they're 40. And so it made me think about me, 50 last year, almost 51, and how this year, this past year, I've grown in different ways. And it got me thinking about when you force plants. I don't know very much about it, but when I think about tomatoes, you have to pinch. Well, Mum's shown me, you pinch certain growths to then make sure that the fruit grows more substantially. So it got me thinking, this is literally in the last 2 minutes I've been thinking this, it got me thinking how this year I have been pinched and it's hurt. Things have been done to me and I've had experiences that I really would not choose to have and I would not want to go through again. But I have grown and I have had experiences that have been really positive out of it. So I just have to think of things that way, really. That's the Forest of Dean done. I'm now going to go to Ross-on-Wye, have something to eat, wander around, and then just head straight home. I will have a stop somewhere because I will need to sleep. I'm tired, that's because of late nights making films. My eyes are really tired. When I see myself in the video, my eyes look so small and scrawny. So, Ross-on-Wye, I've got no internet connection, no mobile data at the moment. Well, I mean, I've got the mobile data, but there's no service. So I'll see what signs I can follow to Ross-on-Wye until mobile data kicks in, hopefully. We're at Ross-on-Wye. I've just arrived at the car park, just paid for parking. It was tipping down with rain just now. It stopped doing that. Don't really know where I'm going, and I will head into town, wherever that is, and get something to eat. Why have I come to Ross-on-Wye then? Well, on the journey from London to Monmouth on Monday, passed by Ross on Wye, not through it, but by it. There's a bridge behind me. Maybe I was on that bridge. Perhaps I was on that road. It's quite likely. And you know, in the not too far distance, I saw Ross on Wye over the river, and it looked beautiful. So that's why I'm here, to have a look around. Right, I've just had my lasagna in the pub. It's nearly 5 o'clock. So yeah, I've had lasagna, so that will mean I won't need to worry about any dinner when I get home. And I'm finally having an ice cream just before I head for London. So this will be the first ice cream I've had while I've been away, even though I've talked about it for a few days. It's 5:05 and we're going to make the journey back to London now. I've just made it back. It's 8:33 and I have an explosion of gladioli in the front garden. I've never seen anything like it. I haven't added any new bulbs. It's just all the same old bulbs, but it is a really mad explosion of gladioli that I have come back to after just being away for 4 nights. I'm really tired. I bought petrol. I did stop at the services, but I didn't get out of the car. Well, I got out of the car and asked a couple who I saw had a dog. Are dogs allowed in the service station? And the lady said, no, sorry, they're not. And I thought, well, I can't leave her in the car because she'll set the alarm off and then that will draw attention to her. So I have made it all the way back without doing a wee and without having a sleep. So safely home, safe and sound. And another adventure when I do the Great North Run in September. I've got 2 nights away then, but I won't be driving. I'll be going on the train, which is booked. And I have Airbnb, and Nora won't be with me because I can't take her on the run.